Team NP here in our next best-of-3 series now for the Dota Pit League Season number 5 American Qualifiers. So, of course, we're coming off our first series, which ended up being a really good series, actually. I'd be lying a little bit if I was a little unsure what kind of series to expect. But, obviously the favorites being EG and whether or not they'd even stomp Complexity, but that definitely was not the case. And going the distance, and Complexity even had a chance to win that third game for bits and pieces of it. But in the end, EG victorious 2-1. There's your spoilers, in case you missed it. Anyways, our next series coming at us. I'm Breaking CPK, joined by CCNC as my co-caster. We're having some fun here, and I know that you're obviously a pro player yourself. You've been on some team FDL most recently, I believe. No longer a part of them, but my point is you probably have some insight on the American scene and some of these players. So Team Freedom and NP, I mean, what do you think of these teams here?
I mean, NP has shown lately that they're very, very strong, contending for even, the number 2 slot in NA, beating DC 2-0 in that elimination mode tournament the other day. As the last series showed, maybe not the most accurate as far as real Dota goes, but. Yeah. But NP definitely a very, very good team. Work together very well as a unit. Have a lot of smart players. EE 1 through 7, Aoi, SVG, basically just team coach.
Yeah.
And Freedom, they did pretty well in the American qualifiers, just barely not making it into the Final Four, into the playoff stage, behind Infamous. Now trying out with BSJ and Tomato, both mid 7K to high 7K players, very good. Tomato, like 16, 17 years old, so a lot of potential from him. Be interesting to see how they do, as this is like the first real team they've been on. That's first good team.
Damn it, you just had to bust out that insight. I was here, I had some inside information, I was ready to say about the replacements, and then you just go ahead and take that away from me. No, but as you pointed out, yeah, Tomato and BSJ stepping in right here for Boris and WWD. Now, I am being told that BSJ apparently expecting to play Juggernaut, Slark, or Lifestealer. Those 3 heroes. That's it. Nothing else. So.
Those are typically his specialties. The Slark, in particular. We'll see if they get it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how that works out. But okay, let's talk about this draft here now, though. This is already some very interesting stuff. Jakiro first pick. Am I missing something, or is this typical, or what am I missing here?
No, this is just weird. I don't think I've ever seen them do this before. They must have a specific strat for it. We'll have to see what they do. I would assume it would be support. Maybe they know something we don't.
I'm looking at their stats right now. Yeah, they literally have not picked or banned Jakiro in the last month, has Team NP, and they've played a lot of matches. This has been a very active team amongst a lot of teams. In fact, there's also the announcement recently, of course, they lost to FDL in the grand finals for the qualifiers for the Montreal lane coming up, in the epic series there, best of 5, 3-2. But they actually end up going in the end because they're replacing DC here. DC was announced and wasn't able to make it, so they're going to be replacing them at that land. So, but I mean, that's just another event. Yeah, it was actually announced, I believe, earlier today, if not last night. But yeah, so Team NP's going. Breaking news, in case for those that haven't heard it.
Oh, that's crazy! I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a Reddit post. Hopefully, I'm not breaking anything I shouldn't be. There's a Reddit post on it, so yeah, I believe that was the case there. But the point is, they've been very active. They've had a lot of matches, so to kind of see this all of a sudden and when they haven't played or banned this hero, that's just so out of left field. But I mean, Jakiro, well, looking at Jakiro as a hero, I've played him a couple times myself, so I'm going to give my professional analyzing here. I think he's pretty good. There, I've done my job. What do you think?
Radiant team back.
Some teams have tried him in the past. Adfim in particular plays that hero as mid quite a bit. They go for some push strats to do it with Juggernaut, and they try and win the game very early on. It hasn't worked very well for them. DC tried to do it at the International. They almost won that game, but had a couple slip-ups and fights, sort of cost them the game, fell behind. And Jakiro is a hero that you absolutely cannot fall behind on. NP grabbing at the Venge as well, so a hero that Aoi likes to play on carry, goes for the Dragon Lance, Silver Edge, plays a very active role, tries to get in fights as early as possible. So I would assume they maybe even go for some sort of aggressive lane versus the Wisp, who maybe wants to play with the mid hero, sort of roam around. So we'll have to see what they do there. But definitely a lot of early game potential between these two heroes.
Yeah. All right, the bands to follow now. Obviously, we have Naga, Timbersaw, and now Chen bands coming out from Freedom. Undying, we got Sand King and Crystal Maiden taken out on the side of NP. And then there's the Invoker band as well now from Freedom, and then the Ogre Magic. Ogre Magic making it that far. It's almost like if that Jakiro was an Ogre instead, it'd be a lot more expected of a draft here, but no, it is Jakiro. So yeah, the ban on the Ogre instead. But always fun seeing an IO. You know, Nyx Assassin with an IO, I feel like it's something we've kind of seen in glimpses here and there, and it's so powerful. So I'm wondering if Freedom is kind of thinking about that here.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that hero is definitely IX Mike special. Plays that hero a lot. Spams it in pubs. We'll have to see. You always do want some sort of hero that can set up ganks really well. With Wisp, the game sort of becomes typically becomes sort of odd, different from normal Dota games, because you have two heroes that run around the whole game, and the other three heroes will stick together, and then Team NP, or the other team that doesn't have the Wisp, will typically group up as 5 and do things as a team, try and fight like that, so that you don't give up pickoffs to the Wisp. And NP's early picks bode themselves or lend themselves very, very well to that group up as 5 to stop the Wisp from doing stuff to you. So
yeah,
their lineup may end up working quite well versus this Wisp draft. We'll see how it actually works out.
Apparently they might have picked Jakiro yesterday in the elimination draft, I guess. So, but it's like, other than that, again, hasn't been seen. But I wonder if it's one of those kids they kind of felt like they had to pick it because of the format of that event, and they realized, wait a second, this hero's kind of good. Anyways, we see it here, so yeah, that's going to be curious to see how it does for them throughout. Disruptor, though, coming out for Freedom is good against a Wisp, but that's on their team, of course. So part of me wonders if that's a kind of takeaway pick, almost from Freedom right there against NP.
Yeah, it could be maybe looking for their second support, and like you said, picking a block pick like that. But I don't think you'd have a Disruptor and a Jakiro both on one team. Sort of lacks heroes that can do stuff and your support duo. So I don't think that's really a hero NP would pick. So either Freedom not really realizing that, or just a hero they wanted. Not amazing versus either of those heroes. You know, it's typically a hero that needs a little bit of time to get online. Very weak in like the super early laning stage, or not super early, but in sort of like the mid to like around the middle of the laning stage. Yeah. Not great. Doesn't have his level 6 yet. The level 1 Q has sort of lost some of its effectiveness, and until he has his level 6 isn't that strong. And NP, the Tide pick, looking to get aggressive super early on and just run over them, take super early fights.
Yeah, that's going to be their game plan, it feels like. Are we expecting this to be a core Vengeful, by the way?
Yeah, I think so. Aoi plays the Venge almost all the time. I don't remember a game where I've seen either of the supports play the Venge.
Okay. All right, so kind of knowing that information too, then you figure you still probably need a little bit of that 4 role perhaps, and probably the mid then in the end right here. So we'll see what comes of that. Team Freedom looking for their 4th pick. Under a minute themselves for that reserve time, but obviously NP have been down to 7 seconds for their extra time here. But what does Freedom still need? Yeah, it's that Nyx is still a possibility for addressing.
They might. I'm trying to think of what they want for Tomato's hero. He plays Puck quite well. He plays Magnus. This could be a Magnus game. He's been practicing that hero a fair amount. Pairs well with the Juggernaut. Is good versus push strats. Combos well with the Disruptor. Gives you a lot of AoE, and there it is.
Look at that. That was quite the call right there.
Bam, got him.
Magnus. Doesn't that just feel so good? It's like a 4th pick. It's like, you know, this hero, and it's like, oh, then that hero comes out. Feels good. I wish I could do that. Let's see. Team NP. They're gonna go obviously a Oracle here. No, Oracle wouldn't really fit well. How awesome would it be if they actually pick Oracle, though?
That'd be pretty dope.
They didn't pick Oracle at all.
Slardar
so
coming out.
The SVG right. Slardar. Okay.
So now.
Yeah, they're one of the first teams to popularize the support Slardar. I think one of the Russian teams did it first, and then NP was one of the teams to do it immediately afterward.
10 seconds remaining.
Just a hero that is pretty strong in lane, has the nice stun, has a lot of armor, so can trade well with offlaners. And the amplified damage is just really, really good. especially good versus heroes like
Reserve
Jug that
time.
are very strong against the magic damage, obviously because of the spin. But the Venge's damage aura combined with the amplified damage does metric tons of damage to all these squishy heroes. Wisp, Disruptor, Magnus, not all
Radiant
typically known for
team
being
back.
very tanky heroes. So definitely a good pick here, and also gives them what they were lacking. We were talking about needing another support that is able to do stuff and actually make moves.
Dazzle. I think Dazzle here could actually be decent for NP.
10 seconds remaining.
Mid Dazzle.
I don't know. I mean, I'm wondering if they
5
go the
seconds
Dazzle here. I mean, the
remaining.
minus armor, you got the Weave, synergy with the Vengeful Spirit and the Slaughter. That brings a lot to the table there. They ban a Faceless themselves.
Radiant
Yeah, Storm
team
Spirit was banned by Freedom, so they believe that they're still getting a mid hero here. So they're not believing the Vengeful Spirit core here, it
All
seems
right,
like.
EE Razor calling it.
That could, yeah, though, that would actually make sense too. I could see that as well for sure.
Please pick Razor.
It'll make me look good, please.
10 seconds
There's so many
remaining.
people watching. Yeah, we'll see if he actually does that or not.
5 seconds.
Hey! Oh man, you're on
Dire
fire.
team pick.
What is that? 2 for 2. Let me
Yeah,
try
that's-
again here.
all right.
What do we got? Nothing's coming.
Dude,
No.
say Nyx. Dude, say Nyx.
Nyx?
10
Oh, Nyx.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, I bet it's gonna be.
I've been saying Nyx from the beginning, so if it's Nyx,
Yeah,
I'll take
it's
credit for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you obviously get credit if it's Nyx.
Yeah.
As far as IX, my heroes that are left,
Reserve time.
there's still the Bat Rider left in the pool, so they may take
10
Bat Rider.
seconds remaining.
Not amazing this game as there already is Avenge, so maybe looking at the
5
Nyx.
seconds remaining.
Ah, Tinker. What?
Oh, it's offline Magnus. Oh, okay. I didn't expect that. Alright, so picking the Tinker versus Heavy Push strat, it's a hero that can do pretty well versus Razor in lane. The Laser, one of the best laning spells in the game, as well as the Link, so sort of equalizing each other. The Razor will still probably come out on top, but the Tinker here, once he has a few levels, can spam out the waves with the March and actually get some CS versus Razor. As well as, just being a hero that's very good at defending these pushes, and that's obviously what MP is all about. Winning their lanes, grouping up early, and trying to take an early advantage and go high ground with the Liquid Fire and the Venge auras, etc.
So I'm gonna kind of say this as we're finishing off the draft right here
10
about Team
seconds
NP. This is a team that's gained a lot of momentum lately as they're going. They
5
played a lot of
seconds
matches.
remaining.
They've been gaining a larger fan base, with their whole situation and everything. I will say out of the matches I've kind of watched of them, it seems like they have this history though of being very good early game. They look really good the first 15, 20 minutes. And then that kind of factor of whether it's just going to YOLO or just the 3-2-2 kicks it, whatever it is, they kind of just start to fall apart. And then eventually, if they can maybe get over that little bit of throw that comes to the table, then they kind of take care of business and win the game. So, but I don't know. Compared to a lot of teams, I feel like that they have that tendency to do a little too much at times. Am I alone here, you think, or do you kind of feel the same way?
No, I think that is definitely like one of the weaknesses they have. Just being the kinds of players they are, Aoi, EE. Like I said, team coach. They have a lot of players that are very theory crafty, and so maybe sometimes just getting a little too fancy, doing things, the hard way instead of taking the easiest route. But definitely showing by the results. Thrashed Cole in the qualifiers for the major, and beat DC the other day. Just been performing really, really well. And they're, like you said, they're kind of just laning legends. And at a game like this, where the laning is very important, getting that early lead, it bodes itself very well for NP. They'll be able to take advantage of this draft and gonna get the first blood too. So.
Well, the Link's coming up right here, and yeah, as you're saying, that's pretty much an easy first blood from the beginning. They collapse onto Eagle playing that disruptor. Not really any chance for him to get away from that one. So
30
that's a
seconds.
very early first blood too. Wow, we're still 30 seconds.
All right, EE has Boots Bassi at minute 0. This lane for Tinker just got a lot harder.
Yeah. That seems that seems like it's going to be absurdly difficult.
He got the first blood and the ward, 400 gold before the rune spawns and the rune. So he's gracious.
Do you
what a
say
start.
GG game 2? Let's go. Is that where we're at?
Yeah, just roll on, Gappa.
Smart money.
But yeah, but in all seriousness though, it is very, very good start for this Razor, and it's gonna make things really tough for the Tinker. as well. So Freedom realizing that, and Disruptor going back and blocking. So having the wave on your hill is very important versus Razor. But it looks like it's going to meet near the middle as the Slaughter blocking a little bit for him, the EE blocking as well. So
Yeah.
definitely probably going to be an EE favored lane.
There goes the Link, and oh, look at this other Link coming in from Juby here, and will protect the Tinker, but obviously, yeah, it's already going to be a good start for Razor. You mentioned the boots on him, and definitely Tomato, he's going to really need to prove himself here. Yeah, I'm also being I guess Tomato's he's a 16-year-old player. He's one of these younger guys on the scene, trying to make a name for himself. So this will definitely be a game for that on such a hero as Tinker.
We'll see if he performs under pressure. Definitely playing a very good team, and only met a couple teams before. Balrogs being the best of those, with some other sort of South American players, not like the infamous level South American players, but some lower tier ones.
Yeah.
And you know they had some decent results. Not an amazing team, disbanded reasonably quickly, and it's really the only team he's been on of any note. But finally getting a shot now, playing against NP, the big dogs. See if he can perform.
Keep an eye on that throughout this game. Again, Tinker definitely one of those heroes that potentially could be a lot of fun to watch and can make some plays for sure. So Slaughter, meanwhile, here at the bottom lane, he's kind of boxing out for this Titan. This is not your typical lane. This almost feels like a pub of sorts, but you got the Slaughter playing the support to a Titanhunter. So does that make sense to you? I mean, I guess with the lane makeup, that's just kind of how it worked.
Yeah, they I didn't actually see how this originally worked out. If they wanted to put the Tidehunter solo versus Magnus, I would assume that's what they wanted to do, and then just do the try versus try, because this Tide would be owning, or would just crush this Magnus. But I think Freedom sniffed that out and swapped the lanes whenever they saw those three heroes top, and so put the Magnus top, and then just ended up with this sort of conglomerate, the Tidehunter and the Slaughter are doing quite well versus the Juggernaut early, as they are just two bruiser strength heroes. So try to put some pressure on this Jug while Aoi farms up in the top lane.
Yeah, you see Slaughter even looking for a chance right there to maybe get the Disruptor if he's pushed up a little bit too far. And now with some anchor smashes coming out from Tidehunter, definitely a potential for a kill if the positioning is right. But top lane, Magnus, none of the friendliest of spots right here, going to be breathed on a little bit by Jakiro, but he'll be fine. Dual breath, not the scariest here. It's that passive that's what's kind of, a powerful harassment to that liquid fire of Jakiro. So
yeah, once it gets up some levels, they're definitely going to be looking to take this tower early on. Once they probably get level 3 on Jakiro, may even get 2 points in the. Oh, looks like Aoi's going for that max stun build again that he likes to do. Probably purchase a TP pretty early on as well. Really likes to get active in these early fights. With a dual breath, slow, might be able to bring him down.
Yeah, I think they are. Yep, there you go. The final auto attack. That with the Wave of Terror debuff on him, he just could not get away. Actually, that was a funky stun. It was one of those almost, he kind of was going away with a skewer while the stun was coming out, so it hit him long range, but it did still connect, of course, and thus successfully getting the kill. Meanwhile, in the jungle, 1437 getting a little ambitious there, throwing out the crush as Juggernaut starts spinning. Last time I checked, that does not work, and he confirmed that for us right there, so he has to run away from him. But, yeah, big kill at the top lane for Aoi. 2,000 up here.
Visa being the other notable carry player that does the carry Venge a lot, and he typically goes for the 1-1-4, maxing the aura, but Aoi playing a little bit more of an aggressive build, getting super active in these early fights, using the high damage and the stun, maxing it early on. Gonna have solo XP.
Kinetic Field, is that going to be enough for the kill? Looks like it, absolutely. In fact, Rocket's coming out. Tinker secures that kill. Yeah, going for that 4-minute rune, clearly costing him his life right there, especially when it wasn't even picked up by him. In fact, double damage taken by Tinker, so not much for Slaughter there.
Yeah, but as I was saying, Aoi going for this stun max build lets him get aggressive really early on, gives them a lot of burst damage. And yeah, it's just he gets active super early on. He fights a lot, and is never afraid to TP to fight to make stuff happen. And that's sort of what their draft is all about. So probably going to be getting the treads, getting early TP, and looking to turn a gank around.
What kind of farm should we, or more so, what kind of item progress can we expect to see on a farming eventual here? Then, what is going to be his initial priority? You think?
I think Aoi typically goes for the Dragonlance into the Silver Edge. That's typically what his item build-up is. Just gives you nice stats to Silver Edge. Probably one of the most broken items in the game. Gives you way too good of stats. Reduces the cooldown of the Shadow Blade. It's a mobility tool. And, obviously the break damage and the reduce, all that stuff. Silver Edge is a really good item. And that combined with the Dragonlance just gives Venge a lot of range, a lot of damage, and actually makes her into a pretty formidable right-clicker.
Yeah. Hey, see up here at the top lane, Ix Mike, it's Wisp to help him a little bit. Throws out some shockwave damage, but clearly not going to phase the Vengeful and the Jakiro too much. You mentioned that passive of the Liquid Fire adding up right here, putting some pressure on the tower. Meanwhile, the sprint coming through from 1437 into the jungle. That was Tidehunter. Yeah, they're going to actually... Oh, this is a nice stack right here. So Tidehunter's like, well, thank you very much, guys. I'll gladly take this from you. Now, they're not going to let it go without a fight, though, that's for sure. In fact, Crush, though, on a Disruptor is running nearby. Razor comes in and successfully gets that kill. The kinetic field keeping him in place, but it doesn't matter, really. And Tidehunter just continues to farm. I mean, even a Magnus is nearby, and now the Link's onto him, but... Again, Ty just wants that farm anyways. Oh, the sprint! No, Slaughter chose not to crush right there. I feel like he was in a range for a little bit.
Wow, that rotation was so nice. Both of them, showing out the bottom lane, they're just walking across the map between the towers and taking these stacks. Didn't even see them. They didn't have a ward to scout them. Nothing. Just knew there are going to be stacks there. This Tinker hasn't farmed them yet. And wow.
That Ravage to help secure the kill. They also caught Wisp. As a result of it, Skewer will finish, or more so the Shockwave will finish Tidehunter, actually. It's a little bit of revenge. But yeah, I mean, you're right. We're only 6.5 minutes, 7 minutes into this game, and they're fighting in the Dire Jungle right now near the secondary tower. That's not typical, so. But, and Pikachu, and they didn't even have Jakiro with him the whole time either. He's busy at the top lane.
And that rotation is so huge as well. If you look at Wisp, he's only level 1 at 7 minutes in. He spent all this time stacking those camps and was going to catch back up from the Tinker farming, and then now and they knew there were stacks because they saw the Wisp was level 1, and so now he's just sort of stuck at this level, is going to try and get XP bottom, but in a really bad position. The Disruptor only level 3 as well, so the support's massively under-leveled, spent all of their time stacking camps for Tomato, and now all of it given to the Tidehunter.
Yeah, and that means a much earlier Blink Dagger as a result, I'm sure. What does he prioritize? Is he going to maybe go like a mech first here, or is that Blink Dagger pretty much?
This is most probably a mech first game, sort of because of what their lineup is, built to do. They want to group up. They just want to sort of walk at your buildings and force you to either fight them, which you don't really want to do, into a Ravage. And all the frontliners they have, either that or you split push, and they have ways to pick you off as well. The Slaughter are going to be looking for a Blink Dagger at some point.
See what he eventually builds into. Tomato here, though, picking up that bounty rune at the bottom lane. Bottles it up even. Level 7, so... still hasn't necessarily come online just yet, but doing pretty good. As top lane, that was Juggernaut getting collapsed on. I didn't even notice he was trapped in the midst of them. But Vengeful and Slaughter doing work and able to take him out. That's a lot of physical damage, of course, coming out. In fact, Slaughter not even level 6 yet, but just alone with the stuns, able to lock him down and secure the kill there. So Juggernaut doesn't seem like he can really find any farm this game. Yeah, he's all the way down there at 1,800 net worth, unfortunately, 8th in the game overall. Their shining star is that Tinker in the middle right now, but he has a lot of work to do still, a lot of time even.
Yeah, this is not where you not the scenario you want to have a Tinker in. He's very good at defending his towers once he has the Blink Dagger, especially, but it's gonna be a while before he gets to that item, and if you lose your towers before then you sort of don't have anything to defend anymore. It's hard for you to get out and push out the lanes, and it's just not really the game Tinker wants to play.
Well, this will be helpful. SVG caught down here by himself, throws out that wall and everything, trying to live, even throw out the ultimate, but not nearly enough pressure as Juggernaut Omni Slash on top of him with the Empower. Easily takes out Jakiro, so nice victim there. BSJ recovering slightly, at least, after what's been, again, not the friendliest of starts. Slaughter will just run in and throw out the stun, though, and start putting some pressure himself. Trying to pick up some farm now. It's 1-4-3-7, I'm sure, on his own time. But again, especially if we're kind of playing that 4 Slaughter here, he's not doing too shabby. He has the Tranquil Boots. And there's 700 gold so saved up. Meanwhile, Razor, 1,400 gold onto him. Oh, there's the Link. Is this trouble? No, he's got the Skiri. He's fine. Tower's going to fall here too. Razor, what are we going to see on the EE Razor? He plays this hero often.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I'm not sure. Normally he doesn't go for the phase boots, but he had such a nice early start that he got those to win this Tinker Lane even harder. Let's be more mobile, help them contest that stack. So the phase boot's a nice early pickup, sort of a deviation for what his typical build is. So he may go for the Dragonlance as usual. Sometimes he also goes for the Hood, but I think he'll go some sort of like Dragonlance to Hood. He just builds like tanky items, bulks up. There's the Dragonlance there. So going along sort of his normal path, just with the phase boots instead of the boots of travel.
Yeah. Makes sense there. The invis from Tidehunter. He's scouting things out. Has about 1,500 gold saved up. So the way he's pulling up gold, it looks like it could possibly be that Blink Dagger style of game here. But this has opened up far for Slaughter once again. He has about 1,000 gold saved up. So speaking of Blink Dagger, he's well in the works as well. Only about 11 minutes in right now. Stacking the Ancients, meanwhile, is Team Freedom. So again, we saw what happened earlier in their jungle. They got stolen, but wanted to probably do those sooner here as a team than later.
Yeah, MP definitely knows what's up because they do have that ward sitting there. So it looks like they want to group up and take this tower and then have access to those to that Ancient stack. The mid tower being down as well. So you have the Jakiro TP down as well, having the level 4 Liquid Fire, shoving out the top lane before he TPs. So the Wisp sort of forced to stay up there and defend that tower. And yeah, they're going to take this tower and then go take that stack and then Tidehunter with Ravage. It's going to be a hard contest for Freedom.
Yeah, you see Juggernaut attempting to try to do it. He's running into Razor, though. The Link is out. The Kinetic Field keeping him in place, but that Link providing so much damage. The ultimate activated as well, the Eye of the Storm, and the Ravage on top of it. Disruptor gets picked off. Wisp throughout it as well. Down goes IX Mike on that Magnus, and here come the Ancients. So, hey, killing 4 heroes first makes it a little bit easier to steal even. And they're going to do just that.
NP just outmaneuvering, reading Freedom's game plan perfectly, realizing the Wisp was super low level, he was stacking, taking that, getting this nice ward and realizing, hey, one of the best ways they can come back into this game is Ancient stacking and farming those with the Empower, taking these towers and positioning themselves in the right place at the right time. NP just reading Freedom like a book and just outplaying them across the board.
Bottom lane, this secondary tower, it's going to fall. Will it be denied? Absolutely not. Jakiro, in fact, credit for the tower right there with that liquid fire of his. So the Dragonlance, meanwhile, on Aoi 2000. We got the Ring of Aquila here on the Power Tread. So looking very strong. Not really too scared of the Magnus at all. Yeah, speaking of that, I mean, having Magnus being able to get a big reverse polarity off, but even so, this isn't the best follow-up team, I feel like, for an RP here. Sure, you got, I guess, a Static Storm from a Disruptor and then a spin on top of it, something like that from Juggernaut, but yeah, it's not like the big wombo combo potential. And meanwhile, speaking of Magnus, trying to get away, they just have way too much chase, though, and catch, even with the skewer. It did not matter. And now here's the tower, so trying to build up hope for Freedom, but it just is not there. The Freedom is not here in this game.
Yeah, and sort of like we talked about in the laning stage, Disruptor, not a hero that's very good from behind, doesn't even have his level 6 yet, and he already with the Hood on top of the Dragonlance, so they really just don't have any kill potential right now with no level 6 on either of the supports. They really need that 6 on Disruptor so they have, you know, some kill potential, can be locked down one of the heroes, but the mech as well on Tide, so starting to look pretty difficult for Freedom. They need some perfect criteria to win a fight at this point with the Aegis on top as well.
Yeah, that Hood of Defiance, as you're talking about, to go with the Dragonlance or Razor. It's just so much just across the board. Everything's going. This is just one of those games where it's just everything's going perfect. I mean, NP, like, absolutely nothing. No one's, like, falling behind or you know, doing bad. I mean, you know, 1 death is the most on 3 different heroes. So this is just NP, again, a big statement game for them, where our first series we saw a very good one at Game 3 and going the distance. Close, could have gone either way kind of deal. Right now, NP looking like the obvious team to be moving on, but it is still early in the series at least. Again, this is only the first game, so I don't want to go too far ahead, but outmatching at least for this game right now against Team Freedom. It's pushing the middle. They have the Aegis, of course. Who picked up the Aegis?
Ow, yeah.
Okay, yeah, then.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Really over Razor? Does that? I mean, I know this is a game where they're kind of got a big lead,
Dire's
but
middle tower is under attack.
makes sense of a Razor.
Radiant structures
I mean, yeah, like
are
this
fortified.
Razor, there's not really a scenario where he dies having the Pipe and the Dragonlance is tankier than the Venge. You want the Venge's damage aura to survive as well, so if the, You also the Aegis being on the Venge gives them the potential for the Venge to play very far up, and then still have that swap available, so they can't kill like the huge ultimate. Whereas the Razor is just sort of someone that sits there, isn't really killable, and it's just sort of a pain. Links people if they go in, etc. And so having the Venge, having the multiple lives, having the swap so we can't get bursted, as well as just having the aura around for 2 lives instead of just 1, ends up just being better than the Razor.
Yeah. There's that pipe finish on a Razor right now. Heading into his own jungle, you see, speaking of Tinker, yeah, really haven't referred to Tinker a lot lately. I mean, Tomato here, he's kind of been the only one again. He still has yet to be killed. He barely gets out right there against Razor, but he's got the bots. He's got that Soul Ring, of course, for a while, and then another 2,000 gold about saved up, so we're probably going to see the Blink Dagger next, that mobility continuing to kick in. I mean, is there hope there? Like, is Tinker actually got a chance to kind of be the hope for freedom, or is he just still not even that big of an impact?
Yeah, he definitely can hold the base out for a long time, make it sort of a pain for them. Going the pipe really early on, so trying to counteract that, but having the Blink Dagger 100 gold, it's definitely going to be a major pain for NP to break base into that.
Oh, the Ice Wall comes out and down, the Ice Path, excuse me, and they take out Wisp, caught in the midst of it. Meanwhile, down here, you see a Smoke Ink attempt coming through, maybe catch the Disruptor right here. Slaughter, he's got that Blink Dagger. Unable to find him, though, just yet. Still going in. Okay, now they see him. And there's the easy catch. So, can they also get Magnus is the question. There goes the Disruptor. Magnus skewers through, takes out all the trees with him. The Crush! Oh, he canceled it. He saw that it wasn't actually going to hit, so at least Magnus survives. But, yeah, so playing the delay game if you're Freedom sounds like is maybe an only hope for them. They do have a Blink Dagger now on Tinker, so that's a positive. Uh-oh, BSJ, though. Yeah, he is going to be caught again, unfortunately.
Oh, I with a nice play, swapping the illusion to get himself in instead of the real jug. A small play that doesn't really mean that much because they would have killed him either way, but
yeah,
just a nice touch.
Yeah, when you got a game like this where it's so one-sided, just complimenting those solid big plays, even when you're so far ahead. I mean, obviously that's the reason why they perhaps are, and also, again, really showing that their practice is paying off as of late too. I know they've been boot camping quite a bit with the Boston majors and everything and the qualifiers. So, again, MP really showing that they are the favorite teams here in this matchup at least. So, trying to win to move on to face Complexity in the winter bracket finals, who defeat, or excuse me, face EG, who did defeat Complexity earlier. Almost a slip up there.
Yeah, the Venge actually going Hurricane Pike instead of the Silver Edge early on. It gives them that potential to force in and then swap the Tinker. Almost had it there. Tomato blinking away just in time. It just makes it where this Tinker just has to stand just that much further back. So able for the long range heroes like the Razor and the Jakiro to just walk up and chip away at it and wait for Freedom to make a move. NP is not pressured to do any. Whoa.
Okay, well that'll help the skewer in. The reverse polarity used as well, but then they just spread out from it. The spin off to the side does take out Vengeful Spirit actually, but going to be coming right back up. Ravage has not been used just yet. MSS, he's holding on to it for the time being, and for good reason. Hasn't really been necessary. Vengeful Spirit caught once again up front, and the kinetic field will help track him down and eventually get the kill. Jakiro also picked off, and now NP is starting to fall back again. He still has a Ravage. It's almost like he wanted to use it right there, but is going to keep running. Razor and Slaughter, though. You can tell NP wants to go in so badly. But they're not going to overextend. That's a good job by Freedom, I feel like. So many teams I feel will get tunnel vision right there and want to pursue and chase them out. And then all of a sudden that's where the turn happens. And that's what NP was hoping for, but they do not. They played it safe. And at least they hold for now. Melee racks did go low, though.
Yeah, they hit the Blink Dagger up until that point, getting the nice jump, getting basically the perfect initiation. And now we're having the Aegis, so not being super bad, but getting glimpse back. Nice glimpse from Eagle, and just getting those 2 kills, holding the base like you said. Definitely looking a little bit up for Freedom, being able to hold the base like that, but he almost has an Ag in him, so they'll be able to just sort of sit on the high ground and just idly chip away at it with the Razor Ags and the Liquid Fire even better now.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Whoa, nice path. There we go. He's right there, but Trying to catch somebody. You see the march is out, though, yet again. Just spamming through that. Another pipe use, though, from Razor. And, yeah, the melee racks is dropping yet again. No fortification this time. That should be a Rax kill. You see Jakiro even throwing out the
Dire's top barracks
Macro
has
Pyre? Macro Pyre. We'll go with that. That was ultimate right there. It's going to burn them if they chose to initiate. But there's the Axe finished on a Razor, though, as you're talking about, so.
Yeah, it was a smart play from MP as a team during that push. While they MSS sort of wanted to turn, you could sort of tell he was positioning himself like, I want to fight. But held the Ravage, and so they have it for this upcoming fight. If they had used it in that fight, may have not been able to get the Rax there. Freedom may have fought, but holding it, being very, very patient, like you said, not throwing, losing a couple of heroes, and even though they were very far ahead, you know, realizing, hey, if we just back up and wait a couple of minutes, you know, we can just continue to play this game safe, take the easy plays, and just play this game slow and methodically, and you know, just close it out, and you know, just really nice, safe plays, making sure that they don't throw away their lead.
Yeah, you know, we were going over that at the beginning of the game, and I don't think we're alone in that. I think people understand where we're coming from when suggesting that idea about Team NP. But it does feel like, again, we're now about 21 minutes into this game, but up to this point, they really have been playing on point. They have been playing very, very well and not making those mistakes, not making those silly decisions of perhaps overextending. So we'll see if that trend keeps up or not. But that's kind of what maybe why Team Freedom's still insisting on definitely hanging into this game, hoping for such an opportunity. But then there's the tanker factor too. Now as an Aether Lens as well, constantly having that rearm go off and trying to figure out where he wants to go this time. He's kind of sitting in the well for the time being, but
is under attack.
the fountain there. There's the Blink Dagger though, finished onto Tidehunter now. So that's just another very powerful initiation to him. We mentioned that last fight. They never really got a big Ravage off throughout it, but having that Blink Dagger should ideally change that now and really open up the doors here. So, oh, Freedom is going to push the bottom. Oh, Slaughter's going to run right into them and blinks away though.
Yeah, picking up the Blink Dagger on the Tide, it increases what people talk about a lot, which is sort of the fear of the big spells, not the big spells themselves. And now having the Blink Dagger, that'll make them play even further back, play more defensive. And so having that, it definitely helps for team fights, lets them get a setup. You know, it's definitely very, very good, but they have to play even more scared, and it just increases that fear of the huge Ravage with the Blink Dagger pickup.
Juggernaut taking advantage of that Empower. Again, that's the idea with the synergy there of really allowing him to farm very well. Like I said, that's the idea on paper. He hasn't necessarily been able to really do too well this game, but he is working on his way up the net worth right here. And he's up to, you know, 5th place now, but 6,800, and the next one being about 10,000. And of course, Blonde and Tidehunter. So yeah, still definitely a lot of work to be done for the Juggernaut here, being played by BSJ. 1437 at the bottom lane. He's looking for an opportunity, seeing if somebody's going to be pushing up, but doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Freedom very hesitant on moving too far out of their base for very good reason. Other than Tinker, of course, who's just doing Tinker things. And continues to move around the map. There's another Hooded Defiance picked up, this one by Jakiro. Nice little support Hooded Defiance to go with the Pill of Discord he actually also has. Just noticing that. Oh, there's a skewer onto Jakiro meanwhile. He's in trouble here, actually. He's running, though. Puts that Ice Path down. He's kind of holding his ground. And in comes the Ravage, actually. Now Juggernaut's in trouble. He'll melt right there as Razor joins the party. And that's the last target you want to see being involved in a fight. They stun Ike's, my guy from the side who's trying to teleport out. I did not see that coming, and neither did Team Freedom. They're just getting rolled over here now into the base.
Yeah, the Jakiro is just so tanky, getting the Hood right there, let them survive through all their magic damage, because that's almost all of what Freedom is, except for the Omni Slash. And with the Jugs having so few items, the Omni Slash doesn't really do that much. And surviving super long, letting MSS get in position, and getting the huge Ravage, and now forcing buyback from Magnus, and maybe gonna finish this game out now, getting both the tier 3 mid and the tier 3 bottom.
Yeah, that tower 1 auto attack away really. There we go. It's gonna finish it off right there. And again, start the fallback though. So NP really not overcommitting. Gonna take their time right here. Man, look at this Vengeful. The Blads, the Hurricane Puck that you went, the Blade Mail now as well. On top of that, so yeah, this is a farmed Vengeful here. I'm paying too much attention.
Yeah,
Oh, well, I also see Razor getting a play. Is Blayball like really good in this case, considering the other team's not even getting that good a farm?
I think they're kind of memeing at this point because it's good versus the Tinker, and that's really the only thing keeping them from getting high ground. So I think they're getting 3 Blade Mails and they're going to walk up the hill, and either he has to stop marching or they're going to kill him with the 3 Blade Mails when they walk up the hill.
That's going to be fun, if it happens. But yeah, that makes a little more sense then, because yeah, it just feels like Blade Mail's not necessarily an item that you want to get to like help snowball your team further. So, but oh my God, this Roshan though, that amp damage just does so much for the team.
Oh,
was that an RP? Yes, it was. Ike's Mike jumps in, so they want to make a last stand right here. Ditch effort. Eternal Envy though in the background. The drain is on to BSJ. And he's just running the whole time. The West going to be picked up. Goes for the TP. Gets pulled back, though. And the good games are called. It will actually be official.
Get to see the meme.
No. Yeah, I was looking forward to that, actually. But we didn't get to see the throw either, which is good for NP. They took care of business.
Their play was very, very clean this game. Just not making any mistakes at all. Realizing those stacks were there early on and taking those. And that sort of just crippled them. The Tinker getting a really late bots blink, even though Tomato played really well this game.